Hello, everybody. Cal Banyan here on Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. on calbanyan.com. If you're watching this anywhere except on calbanyan.com, you want to go there because all my free videos are there. You can just log in, become a member, a VIP member for free. Today, I'm going to talk about something really, really important: fear. Everything you know about fear, ever knew about fear, is completely wrong. That's right. I'm going to tell you why fear is good. It's there to motivate you to do the sometimes difficult things you need to do to keep you, your property, and the people you care about safe. I've got a checklist here. You know me. I like to make sure I cover everything. Fear is good. It's an internal kind of wisdom. It'll show you in this video. I'm going to show you how to identify useless fear and real, honest to goodness, based in reality kind of fear. And fear is a kind of wisdom that's there to help you take back control of your life, to feel safe, secure, and confident. All right, so today, hang on to the video because I'm going to cover the 7 points in the wisdom of fear. You master this, and you're going to have an unfair advantage over everyone that you know. Now, this kind of rolls on from the last video, and that was what? The wisdom of anger. But today it's the wisdom of fear. And let me tell you something. Fear is not bad. It's there to motivate you to keep yourself safe and secure. Now, the world needs to know this information, because if you don't know that fear and the anxiety you feel in your body is good, you'll wind up stuffing those feelings. You'll wind up ignoring those feelings. And that leads to what? Unnecessary chronic feelings of anxiety and fear. And it can even lead to the too much behaviors: eating too much, drinking too much, smoking too much, working too much, working out too much, and even kicking the dog too much. You shouldn't kick the dog at all, actually, but you need to understand that, because people say, gosh, I don't know why I'm hungry all the time, when they're not really hungry. And they say, gosh, I don't know why I just spend all my time at work. Or your spouse says, why do you spend all your time at work? It's because you've adopted the strategy of distraction. All right, let's see what I've got here. Hypnotists need to know this when they're working with clients, because behaviors are not just patterns. Too many hypnotists are taught behaviors are just patterns. Behaviors are motivated by emotions. And the emotion we're talking about is fear. Now, let me tell you about that emotion. Emotions are pure drive, just all of them. Fear, anger, guilt, sadness, loneliness, frustration, depression. They're pure biological and electrical energy inside the body. And the E in emotion is there to put you into motion. There's a new thought for you: emotion. Energy to put you into motion. What kind of motion? The kind of motion that helps you to take better care of yourself. Let me tell you, as a hypnotist, you need to understand this to be the very best hypnotist you can be. That's why it's an essential part of 5-path hypnosis and hypnotherapy certification training. For example, one of the most powerful techniques hypnotists have is hypnotic age regression. And so we will do some form of affect bridge or time tunneling technique, which we bring the feeling up that's causing the behavior. For example, anxiety and fear. Age regression is often the main emotion that we're working with is fear or anxiety. Look, fear is the emotion. Anxiety is what's felt in the body, just to get that clear, okay? So if you're feeling anxious, nervous, worried, this kind of stuff, then, and you don't know what to do about it, and in fact, if in your life you've been taught to stuff it down, hide it, ignore it, then what do? You go put your mind on something else. And if we have a choice of what to put our mind on, we're going to do something pleasant. And what does that mean? That means the eaters will eat, the drinkers will drink, the smokers will smoke, the workaholics will go put in long hours at work, anything but to feel that fear or anxiety or whatever emotion that they don't like. All right. So absolutely essential if you're doing hypnotic age regression, because you're trying to get to the source of the problem, and you must know what they're thinking and what they're feeling age regression is a reality check. I'm going to get into that just a minute, because the reality check is how you tell the difference between real, actual, fact-based fear and just erroneous fear that will just drive you crazy. All right. So what if this is true? It is true. There's no what if about it. If I know what you're thinking, I know what you're feeling. And if I know what you're feeling, I know what you're thinking, because there's a perfect correlation between what we think and what we feel. Last time I talked about anger. And if we're thinking this situation is not fair, then we are feeling some form of anger. Okay. Fear, the thought behind that is some form of, something bad's going to happen, or something bad is happening, or something bad is of some sort is going to happen or is happening. So if I know someone's worried, I know that they're feeling fear. If I know, and worry is just another form of what? Fear. It's the thought process that generates fear. All right. So if you're doing age regression, and you, for example, a person has got social anxiety, right? Then we bring up the anxiety and we can use the time tunnel on that anxiety to go back to when they felt that way. And we want to make sure that what they're thinking and what they're feeling is together. So if, for example, if we're going back in time, and they're becoming younger, smaller, and they suddenly say, I'm sad. Well, that's not the emotion we're working on. Or if they're saying, what I'm doing isn't working, well, that's frustration. So when we realize that there's a perfect correlation between what we're thinking and what we're feeling, and for example, this right here explains it. Something happens, we give it meaning, that creates emotions, chemicals in the brain, which are then felt in the body and creates behavior. Once again, X, something happens, we give it meaning. For example, something bad's happening, right? And that creates the emotion that we're going to call fear, but it actually is fear. And then that creates behaviors. For example, it could be a distracting behavior if we don't know what to do. So what is a distracting behavior? A distracting behavior is something that makes you feel better in the moment because you put your mind on something pleasant, but does not do anything about what's causing the feeling. That's right. Now, all this stuff is in the Secret Language of Feelings book. Boom. You can get this on calbanyan.com. You can get it on amazon.com. And the premise of this book is all feelings are good. There's a secret language of feelings. It was never meant to be secret. Now, how did I learn this stuff? I learned this stuff by doing thousands of hours worth of hypnosis work, and especially age regression work and forgiveness work. In 5-Path, we have 5 phases. One is the preparatory phase, where we make sure our client is totally prepared, totally hypnotized, totally convinced that they're hypnotized. Then in phase 2, we go into age regression. Age regression is mostly about fear. And so going through these past events, I would find out what they're thinking, what's happening, and what they're feeling. And that gave me a lot of insight into this. Also, I do forgiveness work, which has to do with anger. So phase 1, preparation, testing, convincing phase. Phase 2 is age regression work. Phase 3 is forgiveness of others. Okay, that's remediating anger. And then phase 4 is forgiveness of self. Okay, and that's anger itself, or feelings of guilt. And then 5, sometimes there's a thing called secondary gain. And phase 5 is especially designed to get rid of anything that's happening now that is either demanding or reinforcing the old behavior or old thinking. All right, so back to my checklist here. It was so important that I realized I saw these patterns by doing sessions after sessions after sessions, working with people for everything from, it could be an emotional situation like fear, anger, guilt. It could be doing shyness. It could be lack of confidence, this kind of work, and low self-esteem. And I saw these patterns happening over and over again. It could be behavior problems. Like I said before, the too much behaviors, eating too much, drinking too much, fighting too much, arguing too much, these too much behaviors. And we saw this pattern, which then became the secret language of feelings. So now it's time to learn about taking back control. First, you got to understand, finally, we're here. The 7 points of wisdom for this thing that we call fear. All right. Fear keeps you safe. You've got to recognize that fear is not bad. It is a kind of wisdom. It's trying to tell you what to do. Okay. 2, must be accurate. Okay. All feelings are good when they're based on accurate perceptions. Okay. So 1, gosh, fear's good if something really bad is going to happen. Secondly, we need to make sure that we do that is an accurate perception. If we're just a worrywart, we're worried about everything, about things that never become a problem, we have exaggerated fear, then that is not good. And I'm going to show you how to decide between the two and take back control. Okay. But real fear, number 3, real fear must not be distracted from. Okay. If you do, you feel out of control, and those feelings buried inside, they never die. They just sit there and wait for a chance to raise their ugly heads. Okay. So, number 4, you've got to realize that there is a satisfying response. This is the big secret. Okay. Fear, anger, guilt, sadness, loneliness. Each one of them has a satisfying response. They are trying to get you to do something important. I want you to realize that fear, anger, guilt, sadness, all these painful emotions are there for a very good reason. They're there to motivate you to take really good care of yourself, your property, or the people and things you care about. For example, like I say in the Secret Language of Feelings book, your emotions are like the lights and gauges on the dashboard of a car. When the gas light goes on, that's good, because if it didn't go on, you might go down the roadway and run out of gas. If the temperature light went on, that's good. You don't like it at first, you go, oh no, but it's a call to action, right? It says, hey, you need to check the radiator or the level of water in the radiator. And what if the windshield wiper fluid went on? Well, we don't like it, it doesn't feel good, but it's super important that we make sure that we have that proper level of fluid in case something splashes on our windshield and we need to wipe it off. We would never look at these gauge, the engine light going on or the low fuel gauge on the car and say, oh, well, there's a Dairy Queen or there's a burger place or there's a malt shop. I think I'll pull in. And you go in and you get your burger and your shake and your French fries or whatever, and you're eating that and you go, gosh, I do feel better. Whew. You see, I just distracted myself from the problem. As soon as I get back in the car, and if it will start up again, all those lights come back on, because distracting did nothing to satisfy the need of the car. And our feelings are ways to satisfy our needs, our wants, and our desires. Okay. So how do we figure this out? Some emotions are based in reality and some are not. Okay. So what we have to do is go through a process. 1, 2, 3. For example, let's say you're going to the refrigerator for the 17th time that day, and you got this thought in your head, gosh, I wonder what's in the fridge that's good to eat. And let's say, for example, you want to lose a little bit of weight. Okay. And you're going, why am I always doing this? Okay. What's happened is at the subconscious, unconscious mind, you've developed a program that when you are worried, fearful, or maybe angry or sad or whatever, that you don't like that feeling. So you'll just pull into the malt shop. I mean, open the refrigerator door. And it happens so automatically. And so what you do is you say, okay, I'm going towards this refrigerator door or the cabinet, or I'm having a beer when I don't need to have a beer, or I'm going to work when I really don't need to go to work, or I'm going to the gym when really I'm kind of wearing myself out at the gym. It's not doing me any good. And we just say, stop. What am I feeling? You see, if you're feeling hungry, eat. Okay. Feeling thirsty, drink. Okay. If you need to work out for the benefit of your body, work out. But don't do these things too much. Those are distractors. So the first thing is stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling? See, so if I'm going, to the refrigerator and I should not be going to the refrigerator, I go, whoa, wait, what am I really feeling here? Now, if I'm feeling real physical hunger, good. I should eat something. I should eat something healthy, something I'd be happy that I ate, that kind of thing. But if I'm not hungry, then I'm having an emotion. I'm having a feeling. And I can ask myself, ooh, what's this feeling? Am I anxious? Am I worried? Am I bored? Am I frustrated? What's going on here? Okay. Then I can ask myself, what's the cause of the feeling? For example, here we're talking about fear, anxiety. Let's say I'm nervous about something coming up. And so my body tries to protect me, my mind tries to protect me from those feelings and wants to get me to eat or drink or exercise or work or whatever distracting behavior, surf the internet, be on Facebook for hours on end, whatever it is. Okay. Then I say, what am I really feeling? And if I'm feeling anxious, worried, fearful, then I can say, oh, what am I concerned about? Now, so number one, what am I feeling? Number two, what's causing me to feel that way? That's what I'm thinking. That's what's causing me. All of our emotions come from what we think. It's the meaning that we give to the situation. One, okay, name the feeling. Two, the cause of the feeling. And then three, do a satisfying response. Boom. That's the wisdom in all these emotions. We're talking about fear. So the wisdom of fear, all right, is there that you're thinking something bad's going to happen. Now, if they're real, so what you got to do is you got to do a reality check. You got to stop. Get out of the habitual way of thinking, the habitual way of behaving, and say, well, wait a minute. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? And is it based in reality? So we're going to call this a reality check. When we say, wait a minute, I'm worried about such and such. Is that based in reality? Is really something bad going to happen? And sometimes we go, oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm so worried about that. It's going to be fine. Now what happens is you've satisfied that emotion and it goes, because you cannot be worried about something and know that nothing bad's going to happen. To know that it's going to turn out good and worry just doesn't go together. So that is a satisfying response. The other thing that could happen is that you could say, is this really bad thing going to happen? Is it probable? Is it likely? And you go, oh, heck, yes, it is. That fear is good. That's rational fear. That's fact-based fear. That fear is there. God bless that fear, okay? That's there to motivate you to do the sometimes difficult things you need to do to make yourself safe, your friends safe, family safe, your property safe, okay? That's what it's for. And so then you can begin to plan, to avoid, to mitigate this bad thing that's going to happen. That's what fear is for. And once you start working towards that, you're going to begin to feel some relief. Now, it's not easy. It's a lot easier when something bad's going to happen just to have a drink or to have a smoke or to have another hamburger or whatever. But the problem with that is you feel bad, distract, feel bad again. Feel bad, distract, feel bad, distract, feel bad, smoke, feel bad, drink. So over here is feel bad, and over here on the loop is the distractor. And then what happens is you just wind up feeling bad again because the distractor doesn't do anything about the cause of the feeling bad. And if you do that long enough in that loop, you're going to find that you're going to get frustrated because what you're doing isn't working. You might like to have a look at that in the book. Okay. So feel bad, distract. Stay in that loop. What happens? Doesn't work. You begin to get frustrated. Frustrated, feel bad, distract, feel bad, distract, frustrate, distract, frustrate, distract. And as long as you are not actually solving the problem, the frustration goes up, 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 up until it can become unhealthy. And then you know what? God, or a billion years of selective breeding or whatever, natural selection, has built a thing inside of you, and it's like a safety switch. And finally it says, okay, at the unconscious, subconscious level, what I'm doing isn't working, forget about it. And you go over here and you become depressed. Now this depressed is not clinical depression. This is subclinical depression. This is normal, healthy depression. This is the kind of depression everybody has felt. Okay. So anger, distract, fear, distract, fear, distract, fear, distract, get frustrated, get depressed. Now, all of those feelings are good. Frustrated is there to tell you that what you're doing isn't working. You got to try something else. Frustration is always a call for creativity. If nothing works, you're just spinning your tires, right? You're just wearing yourself out. It's time to stop. And that's what normal, healthy depression is. It's like, stop, just stop. You need to rest up until you can start to be creative again and risk frustration. All right. Let's see, where am I at? Number one, the 7 points of wisdom of fear. Keeps you safe. Fear is good when it's based in reality. Number two, must be based in accurate perceptions. 3, real fear must not be distracted from with too much behaviors. 4, there is a satisfying response. It's like the lights and gauges on the dashboard of a car. When your gas light goes on, you need to put gas in the car. All right. Erroneous fear can be resolved through insight. 1, 2, 3 is an insight process for what's going on now. Now, if you do that and you're still feeling anxious, right? You're saying, well, I'm still feeling anxious, but I can look around and there's really nothing bad's going to happen. Okay. Then what you're experiencing is emotional resonance. There's something in the situation now that makes you think at a subconscious level about a time in the past. And though that old fear or insecurity from the past is resonating into the moment. In that case, that's why I want to recommend you see a qualified, certified 5-path hypnotist or hypnotherapist or 7-path teacher, because though that kind of hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and self-hypnosis resolves those feelings from the past, and they teach you the secret language of feeling so you can respond to new situations in a satisfying way. But insight done now is through 1, 2, 3. Name the feeling, name the cause of the feeling, and then do a satisfying response. All right, good. So 1, fear is good, helps keep you safe. Number 2, it must be based on accurate perceptions. Number 3, real fear must not be distracted from. 4, it has a satisfying response, like the lights and gauges on the dashboard of a car. Number 5, erroneous fear is resolved through insight. Insight can be for now. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, name the feeling, cause the feeling, satisfying response. And number 7, insights about the past, which can be done through 5-path hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and 7-path self-hypnosis. Oh man, that was a lot. I know. That's why I had to have 3 pages of notes. Hey, if you got any questions or comments, leave them below here, either on calbanyan.com or any other place you might be watching this, like YouTube. Get the Secret Language of Feelings book if you want to learn more. calbanyan.com and amazon.com. Go to calbanyan.com, log in. All right. So become a VIP member. Only some of if you're watching this on YouTube, and a lot of people discover me through YouTube, but only some of my videos are there. All of my videos, over 500 videos, coming up on number 600. Hey, I want to get your input. What should I do for my 600th episode? Leave a comment below. I need some ideas. Help me out. I need some ideas about what I should do about my 600th episode coming up in just like 4 or 5 more episodes. All right. So go to Cal Banyan, become a member, VIP member. It's free. Then you have instant access to all of my videos that I've ever done for free for you on every topic, from emotions to hypnosis, deepening, testing, business building, all that good stuff. It's there for you for free. And every time I put out a new episode like this, I'll send you a little email note, let you know a new one is out. All right. Hey, you want to become a hypnotist, or you're already a hypnotist and you want to be 5-path certified? Hey, go to calbanyan.com. My entire schedule's on there. As I'm making this, my next class, I believe, is in January, and you can get in on an early registration discount. And of course, if you want to see me for sessions, I still do sessions. I know. I just love it. It helps to keep my skills sharp, gives me street cred, and I get to meet you. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging in here. Please pass this on to anyone you think might be interested. They don't have to be a hypnotist to be interested in the secret language of feelings. All right, that's it. Cal Banyan.